Hello, everybody, and welcome back to FTLG Marathon. We are here with Velveta for the perfect continuation after our Resident Evil 7 run. We are going straight into the DLC, Not a Hero, which follows Chris. And Velveta, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Velvetavex, and I speedrun predominantly Resident Evil 7 and Not a Hero, so...
I don't hear you.
What?
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? I'm hearing I have audio issues. Can I be heard?
I hear you.
You hear me?
Hang on.
Oh, wait.
I hear you on the stream, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay. Chat can hear. Okay, cool. Sorry. Okay, anyways. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some Not a Hero today. It's the DLC that takes place basically immediately after everything that we just saw during Niddle's run. You play as Chris Redfield. Basically, you've gotten Mia and Ethan to safety, and then you and your crew are coming back and just kind of doing cleanup at the Baker residence. And so you're basically going after Lucas, and he's got a couple of your buddies that you end up having to try to save along the way. So should be fun.
It's a pretty solid DLC, and it's actually free. Time will start right after this cutscene skip.
Yes, and then also, real quick, because we had the donation incentive for the fire beats, and I apparently have to keep like 15. So my wife is going to be standing right off to the side, and every like minute and a half, she's just gonna feed me a random fire beat.
That's time, by the way. Time start.
Yes.
All right, I'm in the mine.
Signal strong.
Yeah,
Coming
so,
loud and clear, Chris.
So you're going to be eating 15 beans, 15 spicy beans?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did we lose?
Yeah, so she can probably go ahead and give me the first one, and then,
I'm going to need you to check it
out like that. And if she wants to show it to the
bean
camera.
delivery system. Excellent.
Thank you. But yeah, so, spicy. So this is, I believe,
what Lucas is up to down here.
but where we are is the salt mines that we saw towards the end
men
of
become a part of those experiments.
Basically, Lucas is down here doing some weird stuff, and we're just chasing after him right now.
Walking
so,
out of here.
I got news for you.
I just got the second beam all ready to go already, so...
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh my god. More beans. Yeah, so basically we're right back where we were at the end of RE7. Now that the game is concluded, Chris is here to clean up the mess and deal with Lucas. Really, he had the shot right there. I don't know why he didn't take it, but we're basically going to be chasing Lucas and trying to rescue our friends. As Velveta said, we have a few members of our super elite soldier team, I guess, and they've all kind of gotten these like ketchup packets attached to their necks. Definitely not getting their heads blown off. Totally fine. This is a much faster pace, I would say, than a lot of main game. It's definitely run and gun for a lot of parts.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I don't want to give that asshole a head
A
start.
lot of people basically call this like Call of Duty RE7. It feels that much more fast-paced than main game runs. And time for being number 3, apparently.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's a short DLC, but it's actually there's a lot of content in it, and it's a nice tie-off to the end of RE7. Oh god, that one looked bad.
Are you sure you
Is
just
that a
don't want to
Reaper?
recruit him?
I think that might have been a Carolina Reaper.
Maybe the BSAA is convinced. If they weren't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to add to the drama of the run for sure.
Right? But yeah, so basically, since we're in the elevator right there, if anyone was wondering, I didn't technically have to move those shoe lanes. I just do it because it makes it a little bit easier.
Sure.
And then I just want to make sure the cursor was going to be where it needs to be when we need it to be there when we pick up a couple items in a moment. I don't think that was long enough, but I won't do the pause again. This door actually runs off of real time. You interact with it, and then it's like a couple seconds later, it finally opens. It's time for another bean, apparently, so... But, so that door runs off of a real-time timer. So you interact with it, a couple seconds later, it opens. So in the speed run, we interact with it, pause for a couple of seconds, so that the IGT doesn't keep going. And then we unpause, and the door opens, and we don't lose a couple seconds.
Yeah, a lot of this DLC involves basically sort of running around, collecting different key items, using those key items usually like immediately after you pick them up. So it is kind of more linear, I would say, than main game. And the nicest part about this, and I'm pretty sure it's true for consoles, is it's free. So if you have the main game, you can just download this DLC. It's free. The rest of the DLC you have to pay for. That was perfect.
Exercise extreme caution.
Really wanted to break that box. But yeah, it is completely free, which is amazing that Capcom did that. I love that this is free. Makes it so much more accessible. Anyone that owns it, like you said, can download it, play it, extend the story. Very much worth it. It's time for the next beat. What number is that? Alright.
I think that's 5. 5, right?
5.
Yeah.
Then,
Everything's all right now.
Noodle was talking about Lucas kind of being a bit of a Jigsaw wannabe. This is a very good example of that. I feel like this is very much a Jigsaw-esque type of situation that he has set up here.
Hurry.
I'm gonna need a second with this beat.
I'm dead anyway.
Oh, okay. Think we're good.
It's when it gets stuck in your teeth that's like really bad because dealing with the spice. Yeah, so our homie is having a kid. Getting a little bit of his head cut off. Just a little bit. A little off the top, right?
Yeah.
But it's fortunate that he did because we need this air filter thing in order to breathe. The air in this area is like heavily molded because of all of the mold particulates hanging out down here, and we're actually going to encounter a new type of mold down here that we don't see in the main game. Actually, a couple new variants technically.
Yeah. The white molds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get my hands on that asshole.
Then the big one, the Mama molded. That's a fun one coming up in a little while. Oh, time for B number 6.
It's so funny seeing the hand appear.
Right?
It's great. Sahara is a champ.
She really is. Ooh. That one. Had a little bit of kick, but wasn't as bad as the last couple, so I'll take it.
See, I feel like at this point, the jalapeno ones are probably refreshing, you know? Like, it's not...
A little bit, yeah. Pretty much anything after the Carolina Reaper, which is the hottest in the box. And I feel like I've gotten at least one, if not 2 of those so far. But yeah, I was just gonna say, this part, you're really just kind of trying to navigate through, make sure you don't get caught on walls, anything like that. Obviously, there's a moldy down here, but most of them we just breeze right past. And then right up here, we're about to get the night vision. Then we'll grab the ramrods, and we start heading back this way.
Take down the new white
Good.
But yeah, so the ramrods are what we need for the white mold variants, which we technically saw one, but not really, because we just ran right past it. It was back when we were grabbing the key after we did the crank. Oh. But we'll be seeing a couple more pretty soon.
The most difficult puzzle right here. I don't know how anybody is expected to pull that off. It's just
Right?
so hard. Like a lot of the
if
puzzles.
only they put a hint somewhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those puzzles where you look at it for a second and you're like, and then you go to the other room and you're like, oh, okay, like, you know, that's that's straightforward.
And then it was kind of hard to see because I ran right past them, but like this little guy right there, there's a bunch of them in that room back there. Obviously, they don't pose much of a problem. Once you call the elevator, you just kind of look into the elevator and crouch and don't look at them. And, oh, for the most part, they just kind of leave you alone. That guy has not gotten me in like 3 days.
At least he didn't do the grab. Sometimes he can grab.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That grab is rough. I also don't understand, though. Like, main game, Lucas gets grabbed, he can use his weapon to, like, fight back. Lucas has, like, no training. Chris has plenty of training, and when he gets grabbed in this, he just kind of lets it happen. Just gives them a few minutes before he, like, pushes them away.
The CQC does not kick in as fast as you would hope, right? Well, this is like weird, right? You know? Oh, no. It's like as soon as you finish one, another one is served to you.
At this point, I don't even have time to register, like, which one it is. Oh my god. I was wondering why that wasn't opening. I was distracted by the beam. Yeah. At this point, I can barely register which bean I'm currently eating before I get the next one. So it all just kind of tastes like fire right now.
So this is the section that we need the night vision for. It's kind of funny, if you come through this section without night vision, you just, like, even if you know the correct way to go, you just randomly start taking damage until you die. It's sort of the game's way of saying, no, you don't have the night vision, you can't be in this area. Yeah, it's kind of funny. The game has a few prerequisites in Not a Hero, between the ramrods, the breathing mask, and the night vision that we need to sort of get on the
And that right there, if anyone knows, I randomly took damage. That first cart, when we push it, it breaks through that wall, and then one of those fat moldeds that don't have the head or arms came running up. Normally when they explode on you, if you don't block, it kind of like stuns you a little bit. If you're doing something though, you can just kind of tank it and it doesn't really affect you. Which is why it may have appeared that I randomly took damage, but there wasn't any there. Oh. And...
Coming up to the laser section. This is everybody's favorite section. It's one of those.
You okay?
It's one of those parts where
Hang
you
on.
could like take
I'm
it
coming.
crazy fast if you really wanted to, but it's not really worth it because it's even the slightest mistake. I'm trying not to jinx it. I'm really trying. Even the slightest mistake can cost you, and it's an instant death if you touch any one of these lasers. It sets off all of the bombs in the room, and you basically have to start from the beginning of the section. So it's kind of like, it's worth it to take that section slower so as to not take the death.
Hey, you
and
still with
then we
us?
get to save our homie.
Right? And it's very easy to die in this room. I
was beginning
I
to feel
don't
left behind.
remember the last time I actually had a PB in this, in which I didn't accidentally die in this room.
It's because you want to take it fast, and then you take it just a little too fast. And I've actually tested, and it's not just where you're standing; it's also where you're looking. So Chris's hitbox will change if you look to the left versus if you're looking straight ahead. So if you even look in the wrong direction as you're passing by a laser, your arm or whatever could basically trigger it. And it's super good that we saved this guy because he's gonna last a long time here.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Fuck! 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 Get the thing off me! No!
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that Chris needs to, like, comb his hair. I'm pretty sure there was a hair, like, sticking up that, like, hit one of those lasers for me one time.
And it ends now.
I don't think so.
I think I need to start carrying a comb. Just, like, comb it out every once in a while.
Talk about a bad hair day. Rim shot.
And there's a retry here. It's the only retry in the run. It just gets us off of the ladder a little bit faster and puts us closer to the door. And it's a couple seconds time save. Not too big, but
Don't let me down.
Yeah, it's worth it. That retry is weird though, because if you pause buffer it, I don't know if you've ever done this. If you try and like pause buffer to get the earliest frame on that retry, it actually won't happen. You won't have the autosave, and so you'll go to do the retry, and you end up before the laser section. It is a pretty epic glitch.
yeah, I don't think I've ever had that one happen. Oh, this door is still on a timer.
Where are the canisters?
The storage space in the mine work area.
I screwed up the timing on that.
They're weird global timers. It's very strange.
Right? Oh. He doesn't normally hit us, but we should be fine.
He's just super excited.
Alright, and just want to make sure we got the cursor where it needs to be.
And another beat.
I'm not even sure how many it's been. Like, she could just literally keep feeding me beans and I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, we're up to like 28 now. I wouldn't say anything, not gonna lie. So we picked up those ramrod shots. Those are actually the only way we can kill the fat mold, or the white mold, sorry. And we're actually going to use them. There's very specific spots where we want to use them, because we only get a set amount in the run. So Valvetta's going to be very careful about how they're used. And this Mama Molded has a pretty specific spot. Nice. So, sorry, letting it concentrate.
Nope. So, backup strat. Oh!
Should be almost there. Yeah.
Alright.
There we go. Yeah.
So that's not the most ideal way.
That's pretty demonstrated the concept. I don't actually know what went wrong there. I thought she should have died on the 12th shot, but
It was...
or the 9th shot, right?
Here goes nothing.
Yeah, it was basically all of those ramrod shots have to go to the head, and
I did it.
I think one or two, for me, usually end up hitting, like, the shoulder, and I think that's why, like, I usually have to do that little backup strat. Oh.
Yeah. The nice thing is the game gives you almost an infinite amount of shotgun ammo. So when in doubt, you can always go back to the shotgun and just finish enemies off, which is pretty nice. Although for the Mama Molded, for Lucas, for most of the bosses, we want to optimize our ramrod shots. That looked like a bad one.
That was a bad one. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah, so the game only gives us a set amount of shots with the ramrod. So it's really like you really want to place them in the right spots. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could soft lock yourself if you used too many, which would be a very unfortunate position to be in.
Yeah, it's, ramrods, yeah, definitely have to be very precise. Like, missing one shot with a ramrod is very painful.
Yeah, it ends up becoming a bigger problem later. We're now entering, so this run is definitely backloaded with like stuff. Like the first half of the run, we're just kind of running around collecting things. We don't really need to kill stuff. It's a breeze. And then once the Mama Molded fight happens, that's when like the real meat and potatoes of the run sort of begins. So we're heading into the cabin section, the vault. I've heard it called a number of things. And this section is pretty precise. So Velvetta's going to be trying to kill everything and have it go through the fastest possible death animation. She's going to be aiming in very specific spots. She's going to be shooting a specific number of shots, so that way she knows when to switch, when to reload. It's all very sort of planned out thing. And it's pretty good so far. These dudes, we don't really want to headshot them so much. We want to mostly go for leg shots. Once they're on the ground, we can shoot them in the head. This dude's going to spawn. These four-leggeds have an astonishingly long death animation if you shoot them in the wrong spot. And there's a bit of shotgun spread on this shotgun, so it's kind of up to the RNG gods at times. But this is a really clean fight so far.
Nope.
And then save our ramrod shot for that guy, shoot him right in the crotch. Perfect.
Yeah, normally I remember about him a little bit sooner. When you forget until the last second, it ends up being a crotch shot.
That's actually like the crotch / inner leg for him is actually his death animation. So it works out. And then these dudes are breeze. Nice. Perfect. And that's the cabin / vault section. If you're curious, the New Game Plus version, everything gets a ramrod. That's it. That's the only difference.
You won't get any sympathy from me, asshole.
We basically just use ramrods the entire run.
I've done terrible things.
So I mean, at that point, why not? You got the infinite ammo.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I enjoyed every second.
Oh, Lucas.
Just like I'm going to enjoy
One thing,
watching you burn.
kind of like Niddle was talking about when he was getting to the Lucas section in his run. Lucas is so, like, psychotic, but, like, very intelligent, and he's actually one of my favorite characters in this entire game, if not my favorite. I am so glad that he got this DLC. It really, like, fleshes out his character, rounds out his story. I love it. And we're just gonna... Big action movie exit.
Yeah. Also, the countdown is a nice touch.
Yeah.
That is actually a countdown section where you can die if you hang around too long. And there's a vent on the other side of the room that you can pull at, but you can't open. And I would be lying if I said I haven't accidentally gone to the wrong side of the room and tried to pull it, and I'm like, why isn't this working? And then I realized, I'm like, oh my god, I'm
This
on
might be our
the wrong
chance.
side.
Who'd he send it to?
We're still taking
So,
Just get Lucas.
yeah.
Keep me posted.
Lucas thinks we're dead right now, so we're about to give him a big spook.
So this right here, as far as I'm aware, this is a PlayStation exclusive. That black screen, as far as I know, I think that only happens on PlayStation. I think it has something to do with, like, the loading, and it needs to, like, force time for it to load. But it runs your IGT while that screen takes over, so we just pause through it.
See, I've never actually seen that. It's new.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, I would think so.
We got your emails. We know you're funneling info to someone.
They load us up with ammo and items and med stuff. Like, if you were low on stuff on your way to this final boss section, you do not have to worry. They give you so much stuff.
Yeah, they really want you to be able to take out Lucas here. So, basically, for this fight, we're going to use basically all of the ramrods we have. Well, exactly all of the ramrods that we have. But we're also going to have a bit of a timer. Once the fight starts, there's like more of that poison, moldy air stuff coming in. Apparently it's beam time. But it's strong enough that your mask can't actually really like fight it out, so your oxygen level is constantly plunging. So normally you have to contend with that as well. Hopefully it's not an issue here. It shouldn't be for speedruns. But casually, it's just another thing that you have to worry about for this fight, and kind of helps set it apart from the main game boss fights, I think. That beam was unusually spicy. I feel like I should be used to it by now. Not quite. Alright, and then boom. Now, we want to do enough damage. That's not enough damage yet. Basically, we want him to go into the next phase. That should be good. And once he extends his second arm, like that, he's gonna jump down, and hopefully doesn't take him much longer, and he'll go right back up there.
Thanks for the advice.
That's not entirely what we want. That looks pretty good, though. We have... It's beam time. That's not good. We have way more ramrods than we should. Which means we have to soften them up a little bit more. There he goes. Now he's doing what we need him to do.
His damage threshold is section. It's like he has 3 phases, basically, and you have to do a certain amount of damage, and you can actually go over the threshold, so we're trying to, like, get optimal and get just to the next point. Ooh.
And there we go.
There we go. Cool.
So earlier, when I was all like, oh, that should be good, and I started run away, and then that wasn't good. If I had realized right away, that would have been done.
Black screen. Time.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. If I hadn't forgotten to shoot a few times, that would have been a little bit better.
Hey, GG. That was really good.
Thank you.
Hey, that was better than I could do on PC. I am so bad at this run.
It's definitely a fun one. I recommend picking it up and grinding it out. You'll like it. Everybody will. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. I think that was all of the beats. Very glad I survived that. I was a little nervous about 15, but thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, FTLG, for having me on and letting me be a part of this. It was very much fun. And I am very glad that we got to show off Not a Hero. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say thank you to Noodle for chatting along for this one too. Thanks for being here, Bogota.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Up next, we've got Pathetic on Portal Inbounds, so we will be up with that very soon.